Friends and friends of friends, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome Sarah Moore. Sarah is a multi-talented performer here in the Chicagoland area. You may know her from her work with World of Chaldea, Sarah's Table with Ninth Level Games, PS Burlesque, and Romeo's Faux Studios, where she starred in and wrote the show Gamer Chick. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are just thrilled to have you joining us as a special guest this month. Last month's guest was a little bitey, I'll say.
Oh, well, I am also usually quite bitey, but we're in a socially distanced format, so you were sort of saved from that.
I consider myself especially fortunate to be across the wires of the internet today. Now, you're something of a social media superhero. Can you explain what that even is? Explain it to me as though I were born before color film and only shortly after telephones.
Great. So social media is like magic.
Oh.
It goes across the invisible lines of the internet. And I think it's made our world a lot smaller, which is very cool. So my particular job is to help promote it's called World of Chaldea, and it's based on a D&D campaign that's been running since 1981. So
wow.
It's been a long form story that they've been telling. And Peter Adkison, who is founder of Wizards of the Coast and also the one who runs Gen Con now, which I am currently at, sitting in this hotel room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he took all those stories and he took his business partner and his writing partner, and they have crafted it into a tale that is epic and lengthy, and we will be making it forever and ever until I die. So I get to kind of just play on the internet. I get to go on and share all of the beautiful art that we are making, and I get to talk about all of the really cool, like all the cool films that we're making and the comics that we're putting out, and connect with people. And it's a wonderful tool. Should you decide to ever use the internet, it is a wonderful tool to then sort of bring your feedback to the projects and be able to talk directly to the artists who are making the things that you love. But as a disclaimer, remember that the artists that you are talking to are people, and so be nice.
That's a really good thought. Yeah, I wish that people would think more about how artists are people, especially when they give us feedback. Occasionally they print out the comments and tweets for me.
Oh, sure.
You know,
and they hand it to you. You get like little letters.
I get little packets from the team. You know, that's it's very helpful. As I was briefly given a telephone with the Twitters on it, and apparently I immediately made a lot of enemies and spelled things incorrectly, and you can't fix it, is what I'm told.
No, not on Twitter.
They've taken that away from me.
There is no edit button, sadly.
Do you think that's something they'll come up with eventually?
God, I really hope so. One day, an edit button for your tweets would be really great. People who are watching, please make that happen for us.
If Twitter is out there, which I suspect they are.
Always just hovering right behind you at all times.
Somewhere in this creepy woods, the Twitter is listening.
Is the Twitter bird just hiding?
Oh, that sounds like a lovely story now. Just the bird that is Twitter is somewhere about.
Perhaps we will see that on a future episode.
Perhaps. Now, speaking of birds, a little birdie, the same one that handed me your introduction cue card, tells me that you're a burlesque dancer and producer. Now, I have been a friend of the art form since before the footlight conflagration of Carson City. So I must ask, what do you think makes burlesque so special and relevant today?
I think burlesque is a really interesting art form in that each dancer has the opportunity to truly be their own producer. So this is one of the few art forms left where, as a performer, you are picking your costumes and you are conceptualizing your acts, and you get to be the one who picks the music, and you get to be the one who picks the choreography. And because you are sort of the package that you're selling, right? You get to be as vulnerable as you would like to be. So if you need to lean into something to get something sort of out in this artistic form, you can really spend the time to sort of strip it down and be really, really super vulnerable. But then you can also do something really ridiculously comedic, and it can be in the same show and it all fits because it's so individualized. And I think it's just a really sort of beautiful expression of everything that you have happening inside you.
I really enjoy how much it's about transformation and that joy of moving from one state to another. I mean, that's just good storytelling, but it's also, from what I've experienced, so incredibly personal to each individual performer, or as you say, producer.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think that they're like each one is either like a tiny short film, each act, or a tiny short play, because the acts that you remember that are successful for you are the ones that tell a story from top to bottom. I know that a lot of my stuff tends to be very nerdy, so I tend to like embody like one of my most popular pieces is episode 4 Leia from Star Wars, but also on the ones where I'm not being nerdy, there's still that story. It's still, you know, what is it that starts from the top, and you are in a different place emotionally by the end of your act. So even if it's only 3 minutes long, you've brought the audience on this journey of you changing into where they leave you, which is generally a lot of naked, but
what's not to like about that?
I feel like the world would be a better place if everybody was more accepting of naked.
I wish more of my emotional journeys ended with nudity.
And they can.
That's fair.
That is your choice.
I have that control over my own trousers.
I'm not wearing pants right now.
Oh, good for you.
I was wearing pants when we started the interview.
Oh, well, now I'm extra impressed as well as pleased for you. Such skills.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of skills, that was not an ideal segue, but we're here. You're an enormous advocate for tabletop gaming culture, which is quite a skill. And you even work directly for a couple of different companies in the industry, as we've discussed already.
Yeah.
What do you think makes playing games together so special? And why do you think more people should give it a try?
I think I got to come back to the vulnerability thing. I think something about sitting at a table with a group of people and collectively telling a story, using this as sort of a framework for making a story together. So whether it's a long campaign story that lasts, a year, or just this was a 2-hour session and we're telling the story from top to bottom, it gives you this opportunity to explore roles that you would never get to play. And it can lead to some really, sometimes you're laughing until you're crying, which is a wonderful way to play. I'm big on, one of my hashtags is joyful gaming, but also like it gives you this opportunity to sort of tell really deep, impactful, emotional stories in a really safe way, because if you're with the right group of people and you trust each other, you can really get into some kind of crazy stuff. And I feel like a lot of people describe it as improv with dice, but I don't think it's that same sort of thing. It's like being in a writer's room. You're with these 4 or 5 people and you are all focused intensely on the journey that your characters are taking. And so it's like it's going to sound super corny, but it's like you're like writing your destiny. You're writing their destiny and being a part of it. And I think it's just such a cool thing. And I've been able to connect with a lot of really amazing people, and a lot of them are now super good friends of mine because we let ourselves be in that space together.
That's wonderful. Fans of the show will remember that our entire team got to play a game of some manner of another, what, a year and a half ago, and we ended up burning down a tavern and collecting the insurance money. So it ended up fine for us.
I mean, that seems right. That seems like the correct. That was the story you were telling. You just
Yes.
maybe didn't know it at the start.
Absolutely not. And as I recall, the person running the game was quite surprised that we got there so quickly.
Well, it's good to keep your dungeon master on their toes, like.
We certainly did that. We also used movie magic to have it happen in 4 minutes. So
wow.
Oh yes, it was quite impressive. So can you tell us a little bit about the projects that you've got coming up and anything else that you'd like to plug?
Oh gosh. I have
so much. I know.
I have so many things. Yeah. So well, let's go in the order. What did we talk about? It social media.
We did, yes.
Gaming and burlesque. Okay, so my company PS Burlesque does a monthly game. Look what happens. That's all run together.
It's all one thing.
It's all one thing. They do a monthly show at Room 13 in Chicago. It is the second Friday of every month. It is
Consistent.
2 burlesque. Yeah, we like consistency. It's very important, regimented, but also fun. So it's 2 dancers and a host. It is 6 acts, so you get to see a lot of really fun stuff. Some of it is a little bit nerdy, some of it is a little bit more traditional, and it's in a tiny little hole-in-the-wall speakeasy that you have to go down a small alley to get to and give a password, and it's super fun. So you should definitely come out to that. Yes, the drinks are excellent, as are the mocktails, should you decide to go that direction. I also am the DM for Actoroki, which is a World of Chaldea project where we run a D&D session, and the following week we record the actors acting out that session, and then the third week we show the short film, and then we start all over again. So that is happening. It starts in November. So that'll be running for about 4 or 5 months. And that is, I don't have a date yet because we have not set a date, but it will be on twitch.tv/World of Chaldea. So you can go check that out.
Excellent. Perhaps we'll put a robot voice in saying the date after the fact.
Oh, I love that. We can have, I would like to see whoever is recording the robot voice be a robot, if possible. So it's one of my favorite things.
Lovely.
Also, you can catch me every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/levelup_TTB, where I do Sarah's Table. Over the next couple of months, we have a lot of really fun content coming out. We're doing a Blades in the Dark campaign. We are going to run Labyrinth around Halloween. Around Thanksgiving, we are planning on running Feast of Legend, which is the Wendy's RPG where
like
you
the fast food chain.
Yes, sir. Where you like are different, like you can be a Frosty or fries or whatever, and so you go on a quest to like against other legendary food places.
There are truly no limitations to this format, are there?
There are no limitations. You can be anything. Yeah, and speaking of which, we also of course have we live mostly in Sarah's Table in The Excellence, which is a princess role-playing game where as if you are sort of in the world of 80s cartoons, it has that kind of feel to it, like the Saturday morning cartoon. So
my niece will be thrilled to hear it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Also, I don't know how old your niece is, but most Sarah's Tables are super family friendly because we lean much more towards joyful gaming. It is safe to bring your kiddos to watch it.
Well, that's brilliant. A gentleman never asks, but I suspect that Devin is somewhere in her 30s.
Oh, well, we'll have to find out.
There you are.
At some point. But should the 30s have a younger set as well?
The point stands.
Yeah, I'm always doing a lot of crazy stuff. In fact, if you would like to follow me at any point to find out all of the other weird things that I have, weird magical gaming things that I have going on, I am on Facebook at Actor Sarah Moore, and I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Ko-Fi at Pixies and Pins.
The people will put that on the screen somehow.
Yes. Yeah, and on my Ko-Fi, which is a sort of bloggy kind of site, I've been doing some single player RPGs that I've been playing through, because there's some that are like kind of journaling. So I've been working on that, as well as hitting some heavier topics like working through grief and things of that nature. So if you're looking for more downer stuff, I also get pretty serious sometimes.
You can enjoy the downer stuff if that's what you're looking for.
If that is what you want.
That's the thing we don't hear often enough in this industry. I also have this downer stuff.
If you want to be sad, I've got you covered.
We got mildly depressing coming out of our ears.
It's true. It's true. What can you do?
If only Ava Gardner had said that.
I think she did.
Oh, she may have. She may have. Not in my presence, but it's certainly possible.
Sure. Well, in her hidden quiet moments, perhaps.
Yes. in times when I was not in the room, which is most of the time for her.
That's fair.
Yes. Well, this was all wonderful stuff.